Hey folks, welcome back to another Poem Master video, and as usual with every one of these new updates coming up, we'd go over and check out all, the new units. As you could probably tell, this is not all the new units in this update, because if we were to do them all, we would have, I think, 24 units here, which we'll do at the end of the month when we do, like, the, big tier list, but, for our purposes, today here, we're not going to include the new BP units, and we're not going to include the new Trainer Lodge units, mostly because there's just way too many, and again, this is a pretty pointless exercise anyways to begin with, and just to put in too many things to complicate it is just not worth it. Also, I have work in 15 minutes, so I have to do this quick, upload it, and then go, so I don't have time to do 24 units, but rest assured, to make up for that, right, later today I will be recording a video going over, right, which BP units and which Trainer Lodge units you guys probably want to go for first, right? We could rank them individually, but for our purposes right now, we're just gonna do this. And again, the quick disclaimer, if you guys want to read that, would be very, very, very nice. Thank you very much. I don't have to read it out every time. So anyways, all right, so let's go, right? So yeah, this month, obviously, the third anniversary, you got the big 3 anniversary units over here. Red, Ash, and Cynthia. We got 3 new gridded old units. Oh, I forgot Karen. There's also Karen, which, yeah, sure. Alright, it's not her EX, but whatever. So, yeah, we got 4 gridded units, 1 free event unit, and 1 special costume unit, right? So, let's get into these, I guess. So to start off, the weakest one on here, let's just go backwards, I guess. The weakest one on here is probably just Hapu, right? I mean, Hapu is the one that got the EX, but Hapu didn't really get, I mean, she got better. It's just that, like, all the other units this month are just better. Like, the Hapu thing isn't, like, terrible. It's just not great, and everyone else is just better, unfortunately. Like, of all the, serious ground type damage dealers, she is at the bottom here, and by like quite a bit. Like, even with the grid, she still does like much less than like even May, which isn't also generally people don't really consider as like a real ground type damage dealer. But yeah, Hapu is relatively down bad over there, and Hapu is pretty slow. The requirements for Hapu is also relatively high, so Hapu definitely did not get a great grid over here, right? A lot of the multipliers are very expensive to sort of set up, etc. So yeah, it is what it is. That's Hapu. Right, moving on. Probably Nanu, which is a bit of a surprise because maybe people thought Nanu would be a bit higher. And nothing against Nanu. Nanu is a great unit, right? Even before he got a grid, he was probably one of the most top. I'd say top 10 maybe most used gridless units, and for a good reason, because this guy is very, very fast, first of all, and he has Screech, which is a -2 physical defense debuff. He has extra, speed here as well, right? Just a very, very nice unit. Aggravation or bite, right? That has critical sting, can flinch the opponent, and then did he get some nice things on the grid? Yeah, he got some random, offensive things like catastrophe, double down, ramming speed for some reason, which, is okay. But yeah, his main value still relies, in terms of his tech stuff. His damage stuff is not that great, and he's just got a lot of them. Look at this, like relentless, bob and weave. Like, why did they give him so much offensive stuff for no reason? But anyways, it's just that base Nanu is really, really nice. So Nanu's really, really nice, right? So anyways, moving on next, probably put Moline here. So Moline is surprisingly really decent, right? I mean, the DPS is like alright, but like this guy for some reason has like a really, really good striker nuke, which is pretty nice, right? From what he got. So Moline definitely got a really, really nice grid upgrade. Moving on to Karen. Karen was, again, Karen always was a very, very good DPS unit, right? Being a unit that was a launch unit, right? It's pretty crazy how good her DPS has always been, but she was not always a good unit. She was, frankly, quite bad because of the fact that you have to sync with Karen in order to even DPS at all, because you don't get access to Dark Pulse, if you don't sync with her. And her sync sucks. But now they fixed it. Her sync is now actually good. Like, this is a 2 million sync, man. That is not a joke. That is not like, you know, all right, that's not whatever. That is good for a striker. For a striker, that is very, very, very nice. And again, her DPS was always very, very solid. This a launch unit being near 1 million DPS is always very, very good. All right, and it's just that her sync was just really, really bad, and they completely fixed her over there. And damn, she's really, really nice now. Oh, except I forgot about Naomi, which you know, obviously, Karen should be better than Naomi, right? No. This might be a bit of a controversial take, but I think Naomi's better. The one thing Karen is definitely better is Karen does have like an EX, and Naomi doesn't. But like Naomi, which is a free unit, by the way, is actually slightly bonkers. Slightly bonkers for a free unit. Like, you know, it's Earth Powers, you know, Special Striker. She has relatively nice stats over here. Speed's pretty fast too, right? Can buff most of her stats. And then you got Earth Power over here, which is a, you know, nice, cool move. But you do have some really, really nice multipliers. You got Surging Sand 5 over here. Got Sandblaster 5 over there as well, right? And then on top of that, you got some other stuff. Earth Power on a roll 3 is really, really, really nice. You got Ramming Speed as well. Double Down 5, right? Brain Sync 3. I mean, however many multipliers, it doesn't matter if the end result is not good. And while the end result is pretty freaking good, an almost 900k DPS unit with the 2.3 million nuke is really, 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 really nice. And the thing is, again, I do think Karen is better in the fact, you know, in the due to the fact that she does have the EX, right? But on the other hand, Naomi's multipliers is just so much easier to set up, right? Like Karen, she does have, again, those things which are all nice, but you do kind of have to set up stuff like what was it again, devastation, etc. Like, it's, you know, you have to interfere and status the opponent at the same time, which is that's just a lot of things you have to set up. For Naomi, it is relatively easy, right? Just, you know, buffer her special attack, have like sand up, and, you know, zone or whatever, max out her speed, and you're good, basically, right? You're good. Like, it's not that hard. It really isn't that hard, right? In comparison. So yeah, that's again, if you think Karen's a bit better because EX, despite the harder, you know, setup, then sure. But I don't know. I think it's close. I'll put Naomi, mostly because it'd be a bit more funnier that way. Anyways, moving on. This random sightseer NPC. Okay, so, for the big ones. Next one would be Rosa. This is not too much of a surprise, although, man, you know, everyone's talking about like the 3 like anniversary units, which fair, makes sense. They're the most hype. People are they're the big units, right? They're the main units. And no one's really talking too much about Rosa. And Rosa's really freaking good. Rosa is almost like a almost kind of like a special like Dojo Gloria, right? Which is very, very good in of itself. Like, if you look at Rosa's, her kit over here, right? You have stuff like Shuddering Snarl, which is -2 special attack on the opponent every time you hit him, and then you got Seed Flare, which 40% plus, you know, on roll 1, which would be an 80% chance of debuffing the opponent's special defense by 2 every time you hit him, right? And then you have the extra, where is it? Mind Games 9 on Seed Flare as well, so that's basically -3 special defense on the opponent every time you hit him with a Seed Flare, -6 special defense in 2 hits. Again, that's basic. That's Dojo Gloria, man. That's Dojo Gloria, but for special defenses, kinda, right? Some of the multipliers, like easy target, you know, maybe that's not the best to set up with, you know, because you have to debuff evasion, which is a bit hard. But otherwise, it's a very, very, very powerful damage dealer, right? And yeah, it's not just the multipliers, not just the other things, you know, she does. The numbers have it out, right? I mean, yeah, it's pretty freaking good. Look at this, man. That's a 1 million damage dealer right there. That's a 1 million damage dealer right there. Strongest grass type nuker in the game. I mean, she's top tier, easily top tier. You have a easily top tier unit in the game. that's not even one of the anniversary units, right? Not even one of the main anniversary units. And boom, like, she's that good. She is that good, right? Which is very, very, very crazy considering the other ones. So the next one took me a bit of deliberation, but I think I want to go with Cynthia. And I see a lot of people disrespecting Cynthia already. I see people think she's straight up bad, which is ludicrous. Ludicrous. This is stupid thinking. She is not bad. You have to be crazy to think the #1 tank in the game. No one's close, by the way. No one's close. She is the #1 tank in the game, right? This is what, almost 400 in defenses over here, right? I mean, it would be 400. I'm assuming if you 20 out of 20 it, right? So that's almost 400 defenses. Well, 400 defense if you're gonna. Again, you gotta EX her, man. If you get her, you have to EX her. She's very, very good when EX, right? So 400 defense unit over here that has a 1 gauge spam as a support. That's not like terribly slow because, you know, 1 gauge spam plus the not terrible speed. It's not great. Speed's not like great, but and then you have like potions over here. You have +6 defense and special defense in one move instantly. You go into the game, press that thing, boom, +6 defense, special defense before the opponent even hits you, right? With the insanely high defensive stats, with the very, very, you know, high HP as well, because usually a lot of tanks that people think are like really, really great tanks because they have high defense stuff, some of them don't have that great HP stats, right? And she has the HP stat, she has the defensive stats, right? I mean, if you really want, you do some damage with that special attack stat, but I mean, that's not very important. But, you know, just outside of that, right? We haven't even talked about Fighting Zone. And people, some people do have an issue with, oh, also, Sinnoh Flag Bearer for damage reduction. Damage reduction on top of the high defenses, right? Team Fist Bump to heal initial guard, damage guard when you enter the battle. She is by far the strongest tank, like, in the game. No one is close. She also sets Fighting Zone, and she has infinite Fighting Zone. Infinite Fighting Zone when you sync with her. A lot of people have issue with this, however, right? Because she only gets Fighting Zone on entry and on sync, so there's no, like, you know, Fighting Wish move that you could, you know, use. And people say, well, you can't, you know, Fighting Zone sync with one of your Fighting type damage healers, right? Which, okay, that may be true. Not completely true. I mean, you could still use sync move countdown units, like, for example, Gloria. Right? If you're running Dojo Gloria, which, by the way, I don't see a lot of people talking about Dojo Gloria in Fighting Zone. Dojo Gloria in Fighting Zone, I think, is the strongest DPS, fighting DPS in the game, right? Let me check. Yep. Dojo Gloria is the #1 fighting type DPS in the game, even more than SC Diantha, right? Like, Dojo Gloria could make it so that you get the sync in before Fighting Zone goes away, right? Because of the, you know, whatever sync kind of stuff, right? And again, but generally it is if you don't run sync move countdown units, right? If you don't or deny whatever, generally it is true that you won't sync with Fighting Zone, which, let's be real, does suck. But is it that big of a deal? I think it's very, very overblown. I do not think it's that big of a deal at all. Because if you look at the two big modes in the game, right, at least, Master Mode and Legendary Gauntlet. The thing with the Legendary Gauntlet is, Legendary Gauntlets are relatively long battles. And the unfortunate thing for a lot of, like, field effect setters is you don't get whatever field effect, whether it's weather or zone or terrain. You don't get it throughout the battle because you'll run out, right? Unless you get, like, super, super, super lucky on MP refresh and such. You just run out. Cynthia, on the other hand, does not run out because, again, you get infinite zone that you set. But on the other hand, in Master Mode, if you're running, well, what the heck? What about Master Mode? Very, very, very good in I think it's even better in Master Mode because, think about it. You go in, right? You have Fighting Zone starting out, which is fine, whatever. I mean, units don't really attack too much initially before you sync. But once after you sync, you get another set of Fighting Zone, right? You get that other set of Fighting Zone, and generally, right? Generally, Master Mode is a very, very fast stage. You usually finish the stage before 6 turns. If you take more than, like, 7 turns to beat the stage, then you're either just going like full like defensive HP parameters for some reason, or you lost. Right? No offense, right? But so it doesn't really matter, because you generally don't really even get to that second sync. You get 6 turns of fighting zone. 6 turns of fighting zone boosted fighting type damage. Having the best tank in the game is enough. And you'd say, again, sync nuke, whatever. And another criticism that people levy against this new Cynthia is that she doesn't have any, offensive boost, which is true. She doesn't have any offensive buffs, right? In terms of, well, she has her, buddy move thing, but no plus special attack, no plus physical attack. Yeah, but she has something better. It's just straight up better, right? B Aura Sphere. You get 2 uses of it. The activation condition isn't too bad, right? 2 uses of it, and then you give your entire team, physical move up next and special move up next for your whole team. Right? And move gauge acceleration, which is, nice, but that's besides the point. What does that mean? That's an extra 80%. It's 40% each, right? 80% every use. 4 uses, that's an extra 160%, right? 160%. Like, most units in this game can get their attack and special attack up to, like, +4, right? A lot of units in this game get their attack special attack up to +4. And, like, what else are you missing? You're missing out on, what? 20% from +4 to, like, +6? Oh, okay. You miss out, what? 60%? In 3 hits or 3 turns, right? Assuming post sync 3 turns. You miss out 60% from not having, plus 6 attack special attack. Yeah, but you gain 160% extra multipliers. Like, that's a good trade-off. It sucks if you have, like, OCD, like, me sometimes when I'm looking at the it's a +4, not +6, which psychologically, okay, it's annoying, but when you think about it, in terms of if you do the math, this is just better. This is straight up better. This is better than giving attack or special attack buffs, right? And again, there's a lot of fighting units that don't even need, like SC Guzma straight up doesn't need any offensive buffs. You can max everything by himself. SC Diantha can max most things by himself. She's missing what, +2 special attack, which again, all right, just run another unit that maxes that out then if you really want, right? I mean, it's not the end of the world. So it's like, yeah, okay. I think people are criminally underrating this Cynthia, and I think that, again, I do think the criticisms, of her kit. That's why I don't have her at like number 1, right? That's why I don't have her at number 1. But she is not bad. She is not a bad unit. This is insane. People are calling her a bad unit. I can't believe. I'm not even like exaggerating. People literally say she is bad. That's the word they use. This unit? Are you kidding me? Are you joking? Oh my god. Again, it's not a perfect unit. Not a perfect unit by any stretch of the imagination, but bad? Really? Number 1 tank in the game, fighting zone. +4 attacks, the special attack up. This is a fantastic unit. Oh my god. I can't believe I have to even, clarify this. Anyways, last 2, I pretty much, already talked about these 2 in the video earlier today, but I do think I would have Red up there, right? I would have Red over Ash a bit, personally, and again, it's not a slight to Ash. Ash is really, this. If this guy actually has, a 1000 BP move, who cares about, weaknesses? Defenses, whatever gimmick they have, who cares? You're gonna one-shot, whatever. He's gonna one-shot everything, right? Well, again, he only gets to use it once, but he one-shot the mid. There you go. That's the big threat, right? Very, very, very powerful. Ash could potentially be insanely good. I mean, I'm not even potentially. He's gonna be like insanely good, even if it's not like actually, 1,000 BP, which I mean they said is 1,000, so that will make sense, right? But anyways, point being, Ash is very, very good, fantastic damage dealer. I just think Red's a bit better for a few reasons. Like, is Red the better damage dealer than Ash? No, absolutely not. However you want to rationalize this, Ash is the better damage dealer, right? Do not get this twisted. Ash is the better damage dealer. But that aside, right? I mean, well, I guess Red is the better sync nuker, but like outside of that, and Red has the max move. But outside of that, right? Red just I find provides more value, right? It's pretty simple, right? I mean, it's electric terrain. It's electric terrain, an extension of electric terrain, right? Electric terrain and extension of electric terrain is just very, very cool and powerful, right? Very, very, very powerful. It, does a lot of great things. Gives extra move gauge and electric terrain as well, right? I mean, crits everything. -3 sync move countdown when he uses a max move, which Ash does have something similar, but Ash's has to be in a pinch, which is a bit harder to achieve. Well, I mean, it's not hard it's not hard to achieve if you like have Ash straight up as the first unit to tank the opponent, and then you go like full offensive like master mode and don't give them any defense. Okay, that won't be hard to achieve there, but like you'd also be like dead soon. But it's just generally a bit more controllable, right? It's more in your hands, right? And yeah, it's just electric terrain, man. It's electric terrain. There's not too much else I could tell you. You got hostile environment force, paralysis on your thundershock, and staggering flinch, 50% flinch on your thundershock as well if you really want. And then outside of that, his buddy move is pretty powerful as well. Ashes you could only use once. Again, much more powerful, but you could only use once. But his buddy move you could use unlimited times as long as you have electric terrain up, right? Which again, he's very, very good at keeping electric terrain up, right? And then on top of that, it's basically has the piercing blows effect, right? If you're trying to use him in legendary gauntlet, you just whatever, like Cobalion, you need to status Cobalion. Nope. Doesn't matter, just go through it, right? Just like the Reshirams, just like the Solgaleos, the Lunalas of the world, goes through them, right? Does not matter. And then on top of that, you got like gradual healing for your team. I forgot he even had that, right? Like on top of like also having his max, right? Where he has AoE paralysis against the opponents, which also the max moves also do damage. And again, even in the damage department, I don't know how many times I have to say this, but Ash is the better damage dealer. But Red is pretty close, man. Red is pretty close. That's not a huge difference, right? Not a huge difference. Again, Ash does more, and Ash has this like massive, thing. But like, on the other hand, Red also has a pretty big sync nuke there, right? And then Red also has the max move, which gives you another 2 million if you really want. So yeah, Ash is better. 100%. Ash is the better damage dealer. But Red's not not a pushover either in that category. So yeah, anyways, that's my thoughts on those, I guess. Just a bit of a more refined look at these units. Is that the right word? Anyways, don't have much time. I have to go do my job. I'm already late. Have fun, folks. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. We're gonna pull for Ash later tonight. Yeah, good luck, guys, and I really have to go. Goodbye. See ya.